Well, the U.S. right now is technically is bankrupt. There are people in Washington, D.C., for example, Ron Paul, Congressman Ron Paul, who points out that if you were to mark-to-market the U.S. assets to the liabilities, the country is bankrupt. They have many times the liabilities that they do have assets. It's really it's a bit of a hologram, as I like to think of it. There's debt coming in and there's debt going out, but there's no actual equity there. It's equity missing all equity. There is no equity. So when it's convenient for the Asian banks and Middle East banks to dump their dollars, and by the way, there was a very interesting essay yesterday by Paul Craig Roberts, who worked in the Reagan administration, who said that if the rest of the world is not happy with America's policies, they should dump the U.S. dollar. Now, this is a very high-ranking former official of the U.S. government advising the rest of the world that if they're not happy with America's foreign policies, whether America's genocide in Iraq, America's genocide through their satellite in Israel and Palestine, they should dump the dollar. And we've been saying this for years on Karma Bank, that the only way you're going to stop these guys is to cut them off from their money. So it's interesting, again, one of our modes of thinking is being adopted by somebody high up in the government who is advising this global banking system that if they're serious about stopping the U.S., cut the U.S. from their money supply, cut them off, dump the dollar. And this is where you'll see the U.S. evaporate, because the only thing holding it up right now is the kindness of strangers supporting the U.S. dollar. Once the support for the dollar goes away, the American economy goes away. What you'll be left with is America. The only thing that'll be left is a 24-hour cable channel that'll be playing old Ronald Reagan speeches 24 hours a day. That'll be all that's left of what was once called America. The labor force will have outsourced to China. You know, Warren Buffett, very famous investor in America, has said that within a few years he believes that Americans will be paying income tax to both Uncle Sam and China. China owns a huge piece of the American economy. Americans will be paying tax directly to China, according to Warren Buffett. He's a pretty smart guy, pretty well respected on Wall Street. What happens to the U.S.? I mean, the U.S., there's not much to fall back on. There's no manufacturing. There's no savings. There's no culture. I think it becomes like Haiti, except instead of a few million, it's more like 300 million. Just a big mud pit with people kind of clawing their way for picking seeds out of the droppings for survival. But it's only 5% of the world's population, America, so it's not as if you're talking about a minority of the world population.